So my automobile is suffering from what you call a severe timing belt deficiency. Lovely thing. Now to start fixing it. Not gonna be fun. Alright, so here is my 109,000 mile Dodge Stratus. It's a 2000, I think 2000 or 2001, and it's really pretty clean overall. Like I said, it's only got 109,000 miles on it, which I actually didn't know when I bought it, because I had never started it. I kind of bought it and then decided to see if it would run. And it freezed because the water pump's leaking. But I have this nice, lovely repair manual and service records. Service records back to this Gresham Dodge one. It's back when the car only had 3,500 miles on it. So I got all the booklets and stuff for it. The only really noticeable damage to the car is there's a little down here on the bumper, and there is a dent up here. Got a dent right there. And I'm gonna have to get new tires, but oops, locked it. It's really pretty clean. I dropped that rag in there so I'd have something to check the oil with, but really, I mean, you're not gonna get a lot cleaner car for the $500 price point. You can do it. I've done it. But it runs, it drives. Yeah, it needs a little work, but hey, it was put me in the challenge, so I'm not gonna complain. It's, you know, if it wasn't part of the challenge, I'd almost be tempted to keep it. It's got a nice little sedan. It's comfortable. It's not really zippy, but it does handle pretty good. So it's got some upsides. It's got some downsides. Probably should take it in and get a repair estimate to see what it's going to be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the other guys show up with, but yeah, this is what I got. So, all right, taking my 2000 model Dodge Stratus for a drive. Taking it back and forth. Just got some food. You know, gonna see what it does, and I'm hoping it doesn't overheat because the dead water pump. Yeah, I paid $500 for it, max budget. What the heck? Oh, there we go. I was gonna say my AC just got hot for a moment. That was kind of weird because the AC has been working really well, but I do need to do a water pump in it. It does drive pretty good though. It's comfortable. The seats aren't worn out. Nothing. But I like the way it drives. It handles good. Not quite as good as the Vet, but it handles pretty good. I can take corners about as fast. There's just a little more body roll. You're gonna get up on the highway. Let this car go by, or should I say truck? It's like 5 times my size because I'm driving a 2000 model Stratus. This car is like got negative mass. What's that motorcycle doing? Okay, here we go. It's the anemic dual overhead cam 4-cylinder, but at least I've got the 2.4 liter instead of the 2 liter because that's got to be slow. I mean, they're 60, so it's not horrid. It's just not good. It's it's a Stratus. It's next to the Ford Taurus. I feel like this is one of the most generic cars that you can buy. It's like the car that screams, "I don't have any money." But there are a lot of other cars that. Well, there's a lot of cars I would buy before this, but I would definitely take one of these over something like a Taurus or something like that any day, because this thing actually, it drives great. It's comfortable, it drives good, it handles really well for what it is. But I've driven a lot of cars kind of in this category, and this probably handles not quite the best, but pretty far up there, pretty close to the top. It definitely outperforms some other cars I've driven. But then again, I drive a lot of crap. I mean, it's revvy. It revs up to 6,000 RPMs, but that was only 40 miles an hour, so it doesn't feel fast. It doesn't feel exciting. It feels dull until you start cornering with it, and then you can take the corners fast, and that makes it somewhat fun. You can have fun in any car if you know how to have fun in any car. Like, people say, oh, Geo Metro is the most boring car on the planet. Well, I had a lot of fun with the Geo Metro convertible that we had. It was a convertible, and it came with 13-inch tires instead of 12 because it was the convertible. But that car at 35 miles an hour was more terrifying than some cars at like 70, and that was a lot of fun, you know, and you go take corners hard, whatever. It was just a lot of fun. I even took it out in like 2 feet of snow. Now, I did get stuck eventually, but it did really well. I was surprised. I made it a fair ways in the snow, and it was like, I think I was carving a new path through about 1.5 to 2 feet of snow. So, and then eventually it just kind of became a bulldozer. But, it was what it was. But this car, for $500, this is a good example of what you can get. Now, if it was an average person that doesn't know how to do all the mechanical work on it, like the water pump, which I'm going to have to end up doing before I sell it probably, or trade it, that's going to cause some problems, because at 5 hours, at close to $100 an hour, a lot of the shops, at least around here, there you're looking at $500 plus another $300 just in parts. So you're looking at $800 to $900 to have it fixed, and it's a $1,500 car, so not great. I won't make hardly anything on this car. I'm just gonna say that. Well, the Dodge Stratus exploded. I'm sitting here waiting for my dad to come tow me. I'm driving down the highway, just driving the car back to the house. Waiting on a new water pump and timing belt to get here. They're in the mail. I'm driving back to the house. Thunk! Engine stops. Pull off to the side of the road. Tried cranking it, nothing. Blew a timing belt. This car has 109,000 miles on it. It was about time for a new timing belt anyway, and the water pump was blown. For the most part, it was leaking, so I knew I was going to be replacing it, which is why I ordered one. It's in the mail, but I was just ferrying the car back from work to the house, and it blew up. My $500 car just sad, because I mean, this thing is like super clean. Oh, some days. Oh well, the nice thing is I looked it up. It's supposed to be a non-interference motor. It's the 2.4 dual overhead cam engine. So in theory, as long as that thunk was just the timing belt slapping the timing cover and not a valve slapping a piston, it's supposed to be a non-interference motor, so we should be good. I'm hoping I can just put a new timing belt, water pump, and maybe a new tensioner pulley on it. Because I already have those in the mail. I don't know if I have the tensioner pulley in the mail. I might have to go order one of those, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. But, so, yeah, you know, see here, I'm just broken down. Nothing obviously wrong with the motor from the outside, because, I have to have tools to get the timing cover off, and then I might pull the cylinder head just to check and see if it's got any bent valves before I go through all the timing, since it doesn't look like the cylinder head is actually that hard to pull off. The valve cover's nice and easy. Well, maybe the cylinder head's gonna be more of a pain in the butt than I thought. Oh well, it is what it is. Now I just gotta wait for a tow. Nice thing is, I'm only about a mile from the shop where I started out, so get it towed back up there. I'm supposed to be leaving for Arizona right now, and I had it sold too. my dad actually loves the car and he was going to buy it. He might still, if I agree to do all the work and fix it myself and everything, which is, I was already going to do that anyway for the most part, but with the blown timing belt, might be a little bigger issue than I was expecting. It's already going to be a bit of a problem, but yeah, so anyway, currently being flat towed back to the shop. I don't like flat towing an automatic, but if you go under 20-25 miles an hour, it's not too bad on the transmission if it's a very short distance, which thankfully this is a very short distance, so not happy about the timing belt blowing, but oh well, hopefully I can fix it. I'm really hoping, because I said some of these, even though they're non-interference motors, sometimes the pistons will come into contact with the valves. I said you won't really know until you go to fire it up after you put the new timing belt and water pump on, so I'm hoping that that's gonna be not the case. I'm hoping that it'll just go back on all smoothly and it'll work. Alright, so it is about time to find out whether the Stratus engine is fried or not. It's been a little while. We finally got the belt back on, water pump, did some differential compression testing, but we're still not entirely sure, so we're going to try and crank it over and we're going to see how it goes. Rev it a couple times. Hallelujah! Can finally put the whole thing back together. There may be. Alright guys, so I got the Stratus finished last night, and so I'm gonna head up there. Actually, I didn't quite get it finished. I have to put the fluids back in because at the moment it's a little lacking on power steering fluid and coolant. So do that, maybe do an oil change, and then we'll be off. It will be driving. And that is a plus because I've had it torn apart there for the last few weeks. And, well, the challenge that I bought the car for is going nowhere at the moment. None of my friends are really actively participating, shall we say, that said they would. So it's going to be on me doing that for the most part. Maybe one other guy, but the car is done. My mother actually decided she wanted the car, and so she bought it. This is actually her car. The air conditioning went kaputzoid in it, and the Stratus has very good AC. So it's low miles, good AC, you know, everything else. It's in pretty good shape. So yeah, she wanted the Stratus, she bought the Stratus. And now I guess I got to maybe fix this Aurora and see what's wrong with the air conditioning system on it. But yeah, so let's get up there and maybe take the Stratus out for a run and see how it does. Alright guys, put almost a full tank of fuel through the Stratus and it's still doing great, honestly. Seems to have a little bit of power loss once in a while, and I think that, honestly, I think it blew the timing belt once before we got it, and I think one of the valves is a teeny bit bent, maybe. Not enough to cause major drivability problems. We went and looked at these cars that we drove over here to Sunnyside to look at. My friend bought the one he came to look at, and I agreed to buy the one that I came to look at. So I'll be back in a week or two to pick, well, probably 2 to 3 weeks to pick that car up, and then you guys will get to see what it is. But honestly, I like the Stratus is running great, and I'm not gonna complain. It's a $500 car, and the darn thing is fantastic. Also, that's not just all sun whiteout that you're seeing. That's just how the sky is right now. It's super smoky. Everything's just kind of a white haze. It's miserable. It's like 100 degrees outside. It's been heat wave crazy, and it's irritating. But so I'm really glad the Stratus has good air conditioning, because we were gonna take my buddy's car, but it didn't have air conditioning. So I was like, I gotta get the Stratus done. So I got the Stratus done, and we brought it. And you know, everything took longer, a little bit longer than expected today. But he bought a Honda Accord, and I think he's liking it. We're on our way to the gas station right now. We're just out on some back roads coming up from the like farmhouse place where we got it. In fact, I just got back to pavement from gravel, and my fuel light has gone off. Still says I only have 36 miles DTE, so on our way to a gas station to get some gas before I drive the next hour and a half back home. Then I got a little bit of driving to do tomorrow, and then I am off for 1,500 miles worth of driving to Arizona with my family, so that'll be fun. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. I don't like staying there for prolonged periods of time, just because, normally because it's so hot. Right now I don't mind, because it's hotter here than Arizona, which is sucky, because as you can see, I'm next to a cornfield. Like, this is green country. Normally we would be blue skies and like 80 degrees and, you know, really nice and just good weather. And lately everything's been on fire, and it's been hotter than the hubs of Hades out here. Up there was my fuel warning again. And yeah, but anyway, this Stratus has got some, it's got a bit of juice for a 4-cylinder, honestly. You can give it the beans and it goes. And no hiccups. No hiccups is preferable. There's no belt squeal anymore. Nothing. Like, it's good. It's running great. And, you know, kind of, I guess this is the second timing belt I've done. This one, I did with a little bit of help. My dad helped me out a bit, but I did most of the work on this one myself, which, as kind of a first timing belt job, it's a little scary, because timing belts are kind of a super critical component. Like that, you know, if that's not right, things don't work right, and your engine goes, and it decides to throw up its toenails and die. So, well, thankfully this is a non-interference engine, supposedly. Some people say it is, some people say it's not. I think it must be to a degree, because I'm still not convinced that there isn't a slightly bent valve. Obviously, if it was majorly bent, it wouldn't be running as good as it's running. But periodically, when we were doing our compression tests and stuff, every once in a while, we'd run it through several times, and every once in a while it would be low on compression on cylinder number 2. But not all the time. It was only low on compression, like, sometimes. So we ran several compression tests on it just to try and get an idea. And sometimes it would run low, sometimes it wouldn't. It was just weird. So, theory is that there's just a nicked valve, kind of. It's a little bit bent, but not much. But, anyway, so this should conclude the Stratus saga for now. I don't know if the car will show back up in any videos or not in the future. It may or it may not. But, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you like these kinds of videos and like this one, you know, hit a subscribe button and send a like our way, and we'll try and put out more of the comments. And well, I'm gonna try and interact with anybody who comments, because I like to do that. And my channel is so small right now that, you know, anybody who comments I can react to and respond to pretty easily. So for now, anyways, I'll be responding to comments and your suggestions for YouTube channel stuff. If there's a car that you would like to see me buy, and it's something that you think a broke college student can afford, let me know. I'll see if I can find one, because I'm open to suggestions for what we should put on the channel too. Honestly, I love cars, all different cars, so I'm thinking about a Yugo maybe, or a Fiero. A couple other ideas I got, but we're also going to start doing some reviews, I think. Like, I'm hoping that coming up we'll be doing a review on a couple of what I consider to be some of the most underrated SUVs. So stay around for that. You know, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of that stuff coming up. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.